President Trump vowing to send as many troops, quote, as necessary to stop caravan of thousands marching toward the United States if they reach the southern border. The president also blasting Democrats for the problem.
Do you know how the caravan started? I think the Democrats had something to do with it, and now they're saying, I think we made a big mistake. That is an assault on our country. That's an assault. And in that caravan, you have some very bad people. You have some very bad people. And we can't let that happen to our country.
Trump also not backing down after saying terrorists and gang members may be among the migrants.
I spoke with Border Patrol this morning, and I spoke to them last evening, and I spoke to them the day before. I speak to them all the time. And they say, and you know this as well as anybody, over the course of the year, over the course of a number of years, they've intercepted many people from the Middle East. They've intercepted ISIS. They've intercepted all sorts of people. They've intercepted wonderful people from the Middle East, and they've intercepted bad ones. They've intercepted wonderful people from South America.
President Trump continuing to answer questions from the media. I did want to play this one more soundbite from just something you're just not going to believe about what was said about our military. Watch this.
If you put military down there, we know what the God forbid is in this situation. And then how does it play? How is that good for anybody if, because, you know, you're not going to turn away thousands and thousands of people, even if people start getting shot. And what message does that send? Who wins in that?
It did surprise me a little bit that he would say that, because our military is not known for going after innocent people. They are there to try to protect the border. So anyway, we'll start with you, Greg, on this issue, the caravan not stopping.
He's not very bright, is that Cuomo fella?
Well, that was not a nice thing to say.
It wasn't. It wasn't a nice thing to say. No, it wasn't. I just wonder about the media, because they tend not to ask the very specific questions like, how did the caravan start? Who called it a caravan? How is the event being managed? Who are the people managing it? They always keep saying that the caravan is blooming, like it's some kind of natural event, but it's actually, or that it's spontaneous. But no, it's actually quite organized. It's organized by actually Mexican advocacy groups. And then when you get to the sizable group of people in which you can't tell who's in the group and who isn't, which is why you need a process, because it could be there could be terrorists, and obviously there could not be terrorists, but who's going to know? So the media then takes the narrative and they twist it. So after helping the onslaught multiply, right, they accuse Trump of seizing it as an issue, when beforehand it was the media and the advocacy groups who had seized on this spectacle to begin with to create an ugly political issue. And then they go, but look what Trump is doing. They're a bunch of hypocrites. And you know what's even sadder? Avenatti is telling the Democrats to grow a spine. When Michael Avenatti becomes your voice of reason for your party, you're in trouble.
Yeah, talking about that in terms of the media coverage, some media critics saying that that the media should not take President Trump's words and use them, so that onslaught was too strong, that they think that maybe there's some softer language that should be used because they're doing his bidding.
It's like the mob controversy.
Yes,
don't call it a caravan, it's a parade. That's what they're probably going to say. To Greg's point about the media, they've reported breathlessly about how many scoops of ice cream this president has. And they're not even curious about how this caravan is happening. Right now, I think the only people that have sent reporters down to embed in the caravan, Fox News, we have Sarah Carter down there.
And William Lajeunesse.
And William Lajeunesse as well. The Washington Post has someone down there, and Judicial Watch even has someone down there. There's just not a lot of interest in the mainstream media, so when Trump says something about the caravan, there's no way for them to fact check it. They're going to assume that the president is saying incorrect things, and some of the reporting coming out of there, very interesting. 80% of those people in the migrant caravan are males under the age of 35, and they're not fleeing violence. These are economic refugees. And you know what they told the Washington Post? When they get there and start making money in America, they're going to wire the money back to El Salvador. Some of these people are gang affiliated. A lot of these people also have been previously deported, and that's been confirmed. So if they're really that upset about the conditions in their country, instead of marching up north to America, march against your own corrupt government. That would solve a lot of problems, in my opinion.
And then here, Juan, of course, we're 2 weeks away from the midterms, 2 weeks today. So somebody like a Joe Donnelly and a Claire McCaskill, two red state Democrats that are running for re-election, they know that for the next 13 days, that the Republican candidates are going to be using this issue, and that's not good for them in their campaigns.
No, because anytime you use fear-mongering, I think it really pushes a button. And I think the president and the Republicans right now, absent a message for the midterms, have decided this is the button to push. I read today where Stephen King, the horror book writer, said, you know, that the Republican campaign theme here is be afraid. Don't be brave, be afraid. And therefore, even today, the president who suggested, oh, guess what? There could be Middle Eastern terrorists among these people. They're all gang members. Today he said, well, we don't have proof, but they could be, couldn't be.
That's the point.
That's all he does. He just pushes the fear button when he doesn't have anything else to say. And to me, what's incredible is my Republican friends buy this stale bread of hatred because it is so. So the president even goes farther. He says, I'm a nationalist last night. You know what? These globalists want to come in here and take over. Nationalists, where we've heard that from? White nationalists. Steve Bannon, that whole line.
We're all racist.
So horrible, so intentionally divisive. Oh, these brown hordes
Don't you think
are
it's divisive to call your fellow
really
Republicans?
terrible.
Your sons are Republicans.
Listen,
You're calling Republicans racist.
No, I'm calling this action by this president, given the divisive nature of it, intentionally.
So should he make a couple points? Should he just not do nothing? Should he just do nothing?
No, because remember, we've had things like the Mariel boat lift, if you think back to 1980.
Yeah, that wasn't a very good thing.
Right, but guess what? Well, how did America react, Dana? Think about how we reacted in terms of
we are generous.
Even
with
if you
immigrants.
think about the Jewish exodus, you think about Irish people coming to this country as a result of famine.
You comparing this to that?
Every moment there were people on the far right who reacted, oh, stop them, stop those Jews from coming in here. Why? Is that the way we're going to be?
Emily, do you think that this is comparable?
No, and I want to point out two things here. Number one, that this humanitarian crisis pre-existed this caravan.
Correct.
And to me, the mixed messaging and the hypocrisy is coming from the left, who are ignoring the fact that 16 journalists were killed this year alone in Mexico, and all of the attention is on Khashoggi, or the 600 migrants that were found dead in Texas because of the chokehold the cartels have on not only those governments south of us, but also those people, including the fact that an entire police office was arrested for corruption in Jalisco. So the border security is a small portion of the absolute crisis that is going down south, and the humanitarian crisis aspect of it is because of the porous border and the lack of the laws that we have to keep strong. And then secondly, about the military and about those military comments, viewers need to understand that the National Guard comes under state authority, obviously, with federal funds. The president can federalize them. Active duty military, the exception to the Posse Comitatus Act is the fact that if active duty military is in a support, not in law enforcement role, then that's how that is legal. So that the conflating of the issues and the hyperbole from the left of saying that they're going to start shooting people is absolutely offensive and totally incorrect.
Emily, I just wanted to pick up on something you said.
Yeah.
We disagree, obviously. I feel so passionately about this. I just think this is...
But we feel
this is very. This is lowball politics. But something you said so important. This is a humanitarian crisis. Predates this, and people should think of it in those terms because I think that conservatives historically have been empathetic, compassionate people, not like what this president is doing.
Juan, I got to address some of the things that you've just said. Sarah Carter, one of your colleagues here at Fox News, went down there. Actually, you're not there. She's down there. She's a colleague, spoke to Guatemalan intelligence and interviewed people in the caravan and has confirmed that there's MS-13 affiliated gang members among the caravan. If you're going to sit there and call your colleague a liar while you're sitting on your tush in a nice air-conditioned studio in Manhattan, I really think that's unbecoming. Second of all, you have not said what to do with the... What are you going to do about the caravan, Juan? You have no plans to do anything about it.
Are you kidding?
Have you had anything you wanted to add of substance to what to do with this 7,000 strong migration coming up north?
Do you want an answer? I think that it's very clear, given that Republicans control the White House,
enough with the Republicans. What are you going to do when they come to the border, Juan?
Why don't they fix the immigration system that's so badly broken
Fix
in our
the immigration
country.
system.
Yes.
Everything that invites these immigrants up here is because of Democrat policies.
Oh, there we go.
Catch and
Blame
release,
Democrats.
The Feinstein memo.
All these
and the
Democrats
other thing
are
in the Clinton
charge.
administration. This is what attracts these people.
This
Juan,
is lowball politics, and you are on message for
President
President Trump. Although today he said he has no proof. So
you
maybe you're even further right
the election integrity, but you don't want to protect the integrity of the border.
My gosh.
If these were Russians coming across, you'd probably build the wall.
Oh, and so these people are coming with guns. There are hordes coming now. They're going to take over America.
No one's taking over anything, Juan.
According to Juan's logic, Mexico is also racist because they're trying to limit the immigration as well. They're sending troops to their border. So clearly the Mexicans are racist too, Juan. Everybody's racist if they don't agree with you.
You are so
if anybody disagrees with you,
arguments
you are
to try
obsessed
to counter.
with race. That's your problem.
Me. Oh, you.
Your filter is nothing but race.
Yeah, I think you have a difficulty acknowledging where there's racial injustice and where someone is using a racial pitch to stir his base in order to try to do better in the
Just trying to
We're gonna
protect
run.
the borders, Juan. That's not racist.